थोड़ा बेशरम बनना पड़ता है कि लोग कितनी भी गाली दें मैं तो लगे रहूंगा. थोड़ा इनसेंसिटिव बनना पड़ता है कि यार सब चीज दिल पे ले लोगे तो फिर कैमरे के सामने कैसे आओगे. लगे रहना पड़ता है, यू नो, जैसे बोलते हैं ना लगे रहो मुन्ना भाई, वैसे लगे रहना पड़ता है. यू हैव टू कीप गोइंग बिकॉज क्या चलेगा क्या नहीं चलेगा वो आपके हाथ में नहीं है. और अगर आपका जो अंदर का आर्टिस्ट है आप वो जिंदा है तो उसको जिंदा रखने के लिए अलग अलग चीजें मुझे लगता है करना बहुत. यू हैव टू चैलेंज योरसेल्फ.
Hello everyone, welcome to PeepingMoon.com. I'm Rashita, Sahni, and well, today joining me for a super interesting conversation is Shahid Kapoor, who's all set to impress us all with his web debut, Farzi. Hi Shahid, how have you been?
Hello Rashita, I've been well. How are you?
Great. In fact, when I was watching the trailer, the only thing that kept coming to my mind was no one apart from you could pull it off. I cannot picturize anyone else now that I have watched you in that avatar of Sunny. I swear I can't wait to watch the full series in like one go because it looks like something you'd want to watch without a break. But what prompted you to sort of say yes? Because we have all been waiting for your web debut for a long time now. We were like, what will sort of interest you so much?
Well, firstly, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you liked the trailer and whatever you said was awesome. Music to my ears. Honestly, I never really kind of had any issues with doing anything on any platform. I keep it very simple. I should find content that's exciting, that allows me to do something fresh and different because I've been doing this for like almost 20 years now. And unless it's challenging, there's a high possibility that I'll just be bored while I do it. And that's my biggest fear. My biggest fear is that I will get bored and then I'll get complacent. And then I would have spent a lot of time on a film set without really pushing myself or, kind of doing something which is taking my journey forward as an artist. And so when this show came to me and it kind of happened through conversations, it was supposed to be a movie first and me and Raj DK discussed it, and then it was just too big a story and too like big a world to fit into one film. And so there was conversations about whether it needs to be a franchise and this and that, and then eventually we kind of met again and they offered me a movie and I asked them for a show, and then they said this is the show they're making, and I was like, I always loved that idea, and that's how it kind of happened. So working with Raj DK was definitely a kind of like a big thumbs up. And once I heard the content, I had already kind of heard it and liked it earlier as well. So it was like bam, bam. It just happened like that.
That's brilliant. But, playing someone like Sunny now, when you see someone who has shades of grey, as human beings, we all do. So the relatability factor as an audience member, it increases according to me. Gone are those days where actors were sort of hesitant to play parts that had shades of grey. I think people are now doing even better with such characters. How did you pull it off? Because even though I haven't watched the entire thing, the trailer gives out this thing that, you fit into it. It looks like I have forgotten that Shahid Kapoor is sort of playing it. It looks like a character that maybe is new to us.
So you don't like watching Shahid Kapoor?
I love watching Shahid Kapoor, but I love it when I forget the actor's name when I'm watching a character.
No, actually, that's the best compliment you can give somebody who thinks they're an actor at heart. I would say I'm an actor at heart. And for me, that's actually that's the goal. The goal is, I remember when I was, I was like 19, 20. And I remember I went to see Lagan in Chandan Theatre. And I remember when that film was happening, like, everybody was standing on their seats. And, they were shouting, Bhawan, Bhawan, Bhawan. And I remember walking out of the theatre, and I was one of them, standing on the chair saying, Maar de chakka, like all that whole thing. And while we were walking out, I remember very distinctly hearing nobody used the name Aamir Khan. Everybody said, Bhuvan ne aisa chauka mara, fir usne ye kiya, fir wo gir gaya. And for me, that was it was magical. It was magical that this mega star called Aamir Khan, who's just given a blockbuster, people are talking about the character. I mean, can there be a bigger victory for an actor than that? If somebody new does it, I get it. I mean, people don't really know who you are, but when you've been a stalwart for so many years, to make people forget that, I think that really is is very special. So I guess those are the kind of things that you remember, and those are the things that inspire you to do certain type of work. And yes, Farzi completely falls in that category for me.
I'm sure. But when you see Raj and DK now, we have all been uh, a big fan of their content. Like, I feel they get the best quirkiness in their content through the way they write it, they present it. How they also present their actors is what matters the most. The anticipation for Farzi is at an all-time high. Firstly, the cast is amazing. The creators are so, innovative with what they do. Does that ever put on any extra pressure on your shoulders, or does that come across as reassurance?
Done this enough to know that when you're successful, there is more pressure that you must deliver another success. When your previous thing has failed, then there's pressure that, oh, if you have another failure, nothing, it's all fine. You have to do good work, and it's okay to go wrong. It's okay for people to like say, man, I'm disappointed. That's life.
Yeah.
That's life. If you haven't disliked somebody sometime, how will you know how much you like them? Like, I just feel that's how it is. Of course, we want to get everything right. And I think I spend my time, and I feel the same for Raj DK and everybody else. We spend our time on making the product as good as it can be, kind of delving as deep as we can to bring all the layers that are there in that story out, especially when there is potential, and stitch it well together and take it to the best place that we can take it. And I feel like the entire team feels like we've made what we set out to make. And now of course we've left it to the audience, and nobody can have an answer to that. So I think, like, of course there will be a little bit of anxiousness, but I'm actually curious and excited. I mean, I always try and stay in a very positive headspace, and sometimes when you're happy with what you've done, it inherently just shows. So I'm happy. I'm happy with the way the show's turned out, and I'm actually really excited to share it with people and see if they kind of get all the things that we work so hard to put together.
I'm sure, but you look like someone who's always really prepared. Even right now, I see there's a pen in your hand. I don't know what that is
ये
for.
पढ़ी हुई थी यहाँ पे भी इसके अब मैं तेरे इंटरव्यू में क्या प्रेपरेशन करूँ
I don't know. I thought you
क्या
must be
करूँगा ये
writing
सर में ही डाल
something.
सकता हूँ मैं और क्या करूँ
But Shahid as an actor and Shahid behind the camera, is there like a difference? Are there a lot of inputs that you sort of giving for your project?
It depends from film to film, filmmaker to filmmaker. I say what I strongly feel needs to be said. I never hold back something that I'm feeling strongly, but I don't unnecessarily like to speak for no reason whatsoever. But it is important to share, have conversations, collaborate. If you want to make something your own, if you want to feel like it's yours, like I don't think I can do a movie unless I have ownership over the character that I'm doing. So the attempt is always to do that. Sometimes you get there completely, sometimes you're still finding it. It's different times. But on Farzi specifically, we went through 6 months of conversations. Because when they offered it to me, it was under the process of development. And so because they kind of knew that I'm on, and then we started discussing Sunny's character. And of course, Sunny's character will affect the entire arc, right? So it's kind of the story and the character are close to each other. So it was actually very helpful, and I like to wet myself with details of the project. Like I want to feel like I'm submerged in the material, so that when I'm on set, I'm not like finding the basics. I can actually be trying to find truth, and if it's in you enough, it happens. Like in life also, I don't think anybody tries to cry. They happen to cry because the situation is making them feel like that. And if you spend enough time in the material that you're doing, you feel like it's in your system, and then you don't need to push it out. It just flows. So that's what's ideal. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but that should be that's my endeavor. Like I don't want to feel like I don't know things when I come on the set. I should know everything about the character, about the story. It should be in my system.
What's also exciting to watch is, of course, your sort of this chase with Vijay and his character, and how it's well blended in the trailer. Now, it's really good to see so many actors now pan India, going pan India, and there being like a blend of cinema, which we love to watch. There was also this notion that, a male actor cannot work with another big male actor, which was honestly so many times actors have proven it to be wrong. How did you take it as, and how was the entire, vibe on set while working with him? I hear you only shot with him for a day.
Then what is your question?
How was the vibe on set and this notion of two actors not working together?
No, I mean, I think I was the first one they got on the show. And I think 4-5 months later, they discussed with me that, they were looking at Vijay sir. I'm sure they wanted to check whether sometimes actors can say how, I don't know, like whatever. Like, but I was very happy, because I had seen his work and I love his work. And I mean, it's very important. I mean, how can you make a film with only one actor when there are so many characters that matter? And I don't think anybody has come onto this show with a sense of stardom. I think everybody's here as actors to play characters and be the best version of themselves. Yeah. They might happen to be a star, but that's not what you're kind of, coming in with that kind of mindset. I think everybody who's a part of this film, whether it's the makers who themselves are very, very popular, or whether it's the rest of the cast, I think everybody just came in to be a part of this really cool concept and this world and, see what they can bring to it. And I think that's very healthy for the fraternity in general, because people want fresh experiences. I mean, if having me and Vijay sir in the same show makes them excited, great, let's do it. The idea is that people should be excited,
Yeah. Okay. But also this year, of course, it's going to be 20 years of Shahid Kapoor. And I'm sure a lot of people have congratulated you already on that. But if I ask, the art of staying relevant, I think not a lot of actors have managed to make it to their, say, 15th or 20th or 30th year without being relevant. How did you manage to do that? And how important do you think is the art of sort of staying relevant in today's time as an actor?
Well, there is an element of luck and God's blessings attached to being around for a long period of time in this job, because it's a very unpredictable field. And a lot of what you become is defined by the opportunities that you get. The biggest of stars have always said that we just felt like we were in the right place at the right time, so it's nice and gracious that people recognize that. People who are highly successful say that, and they don't like take ownership for everything that they've done. It's a lot of perseverance. You have to stay at it. थोड़ा बेशरम बनना पड़ता है कि लोग कितनी भी गाली दें मैं तो लगे रहूंगा. थोड़ा इनसेंसिटिव बनना पड़ता है कि यार सब चीज दिल पे ले लोगे तो फिर कैमरे के सामने कैसे आओगे. लगे रहना पड़ता है, जैसे बोलते हैं ना लगे रहो मुन्ना भाई, वैसे लगे रहना पड़ता है. यू हैव टू कीप गोइंग, बिकॉज क्या चलेगा क्या नहीं चलेगा वो आपके हाथ में नहीं है. और अगर आपका जो अंदर का आर्टिस्ट है वो जिंदा है तो उसको जिंदा रखने के लिए अलग अलग चीजें मुझे लगता है करना बहुत. यू हैव टू चैलेंज योरसेल्फ. तो नहीं तो यू कैनॉट इम्प्रूव, and you cannot improve unless you do something you've not done before. That's where originality lies. I think creativity lies in originality, and originality comes from making different and new choices and trying different experiences which you don't know what you're going to do with them.
Yeah.
I once read Leonardo DiCaprio said that if he reads a script and he understands what he wants to do with the character the first time, he says no to it.
Yeah.
Because that means that it's in his comfort zone. But if he doesn't understand what to do with the character, then he's really interested. That was so cool to read that, and very insightful to understand that about yourself as an actor, that it's, I need to be uncomfortable to be better.
But thank you so much, Shahid, for joining in. You have to promise me that Farzi will be a success, I know, and you have to give like an on-ground interview after it becomes a hit.
जैसे ये प्राइम वाले मुझे छोड़ देंगे ना, मैं तुम्हारे घर पे आके इंटरव्यू करने को तैयार हूँ. उन्होंने मुझे इस कंपनी में बिठा दिया है.
Done deal. But thank you for joining and all the very best.
Thank you so much.